Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about an issue that we've been following for some time now with Paul Young, who's the state director of the Alliance for New Hampshire Jobs, and that is this bill that keeps lingering in Congress called the Employee Free Choice Act, which could appropriately be named the Employee Forced Choice Act due to its elimination of secret ballot elections for workers subject to a union organizing campaign. Paul, good afternoon and welcome back to Bulldog Live.
Good afternoon. Glad to be back with you.
All right. Well, some interesting things that have been growing out of this, and that is the opposition to this piece of legislation that, again, has been lingering in Congress and looks like will be hanging around throughout the campaign season. But you and a number of organizations have gotten together to send a message to those who are running for federal office.
That's right. We had earlier sent the questionnaire out and got the people's position on the issue. We just last week, a group of business organizations representing tens of thousands of workers across the state sent a letter to Congressman Paul Hodes and Attorney General Kelly Ayotte, who are both running for the Judd Gregg Senate seat. The letters were thanking Kelly Ayotte for her opposition to the Employee Forced Choice Act and for standing up for New Hampshire small businesses and workers. And the letter to Paul Hodes, unfortunately, was just reiterating the opposition of these organizations to the Employee Forced Choice Act because this legislation is a job killer, and it would cost thousands of jobs in the state of New Hampshire were enacted. Let me give you some of the names of the organizations who signed this letter to give you a glimpse of the breadth of opposition to this legislation that Paul Hodes supports. The Business and Industry Association of New Hampshire, the New Hampshire Lodging and Restaurant Association, the New Hampshire Grocers Association, and the Associated Builders and Contractors of New Hampshire, and the National Federation of Independent Businesses in New Hampshire. And this is a very impressive group, as you might imagine. It's 1,500 businesses, small businesses it represents, and tens of thousands of New Hampshire workers. But there's also other organizations such as the New Hampshire High Tech Council, the retailers, and others who did not sign the letter but oppose this. So virtually every segment of the New Hampshire economy opposes the Employee Forced Choice Act, yet for some reason Paul Hodes continues to support it, and the Obama administration and the big labor bosses are pushing hard to get this passed before the end of the year, probably in a lame duck session.
Well, yeah, which is quite possible because they've already gone home and, skipped out on a lot of other issues that were, people were pressing for. But as we look at this, this proposed legislation, one of the things, and I mentioned this earlier, and I think this is where a lot of people just really, it gets under their skin, and that is depriving workers of the right to a secret ballot whenever there's an attempt to organize a union in their workplace. And you and I have also talked in the past about how there would be an unfair advantage given to the unions when it came to bargaining, and what happens, the little one-sided federal government getting to come in and deciding on a contract for people that didn't even get to vote on it.
That's right. I mean, taking away the secret ballot is a very, it's almost unbelievable.
It's anti-democratic, to say the least.
When you tell people this, they just don't believe you at first, but I like to say it's desperate men doing desperate things. The big labor bosses have misspent the dues of the workers over the years to such an extent on paying off political buddies and taking corporate jets to lavish retreats that their pension funds are going bankrupt. So they need to act desperately, and they're doing that with this Employee Forced Choice Act. People say, well, this can't pass. Well, let me tell you, the Obama administration and the big labor bosses are all saying we're going to get this passed by the end of the year. So we've got to remain diligent on this and let people know what's going on. With regard to forcing businesses who are unionized, the Forced Choice Act would say that if they did not come to an agreement within 90 days, that a federal arbitrator would step in and control all aspects of your contract, including, your wages, your benefits, your pensions, without any input from employers or employees, and no appeal process. What the bureaucrat in Washington said would go in your workplace. It's It's a job killer. It would absolutely cost thousands of jobs in New Hampshire, 600,000 nationwide, according to a recent study in the first year alone.
All right. Well, Paul Young, where can people get more information about this, your organization, as well as to read the letters that were sent out to Paul Hodes and Kelly Ayotte?
You can go to our website, which is allianceforNHjobs.com, allianceforNHjobs.com, and there's a bunch of information in there, and there's also some phone numbers. If you want additional information, you can give me a call. We'll be happy to get back to you. And when people are out on the campaign trail, it's the Senate race and the congressional races, they should ask their candidates where they stand on this issue, because it's crucial that they know that the breadth of opposition to this type of forced legislation.
All right, Paul, good chatting with you. Thank you very much for chiming in. And, again, allianceforNHjobs.com. Right there on the home page under news, the first listing, New Hampshire job creators oppose job-killing legislation, and that's where they can get more about the letters that you sent out to Paul Hodes and Kelly Ayotte. Thank you very much. Good chatting with you again.
Okay, thanks, Bulldog.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-866-823-1070.